6 years ago, Gina and I were fed up with our lives in the UK, and we just decided that we were going to change things. We just decided that we were no longer going to be stuck in the rat race. We were no longer going to be doing these 9-to-5 jobs and getting 2 weeks holiday a year where we can basically finally live a little bit, where we were going to get a couple of weeks where we could go on holiday and that was it, and the rest of the time we were stuck behind desks. And we decided to take a big chance. We decided to sell everything that we had, buy ourselves a camper van. We have pets and everything, put our pets in the camper van, and we decided to pick a country. I was on a holiday in Thailand. It was my 40th birthday. And I really put Gina to the test there, because I told her that I couldn't carry on as normal like before.
I don't know, I wanted to move somewhere hot for a long time, having suffered with SAD.
Yeah.
So although Ken made an instant decision that was it, he was going to move, I feel like we were both on the same page.
Exactly, and I'm so glad that we did it.
Yeah.
I mean, 6 years later, we are now living in Portugal on this beautiful farm. If you guys have been following the channel, you'll know that we've been on this farm for quite a while. We've had a series of vlogs, Portugal farm life vlogs, showing you everything about living on the farm. I've been doing property videos and showing people all different types of property options and things that they can, have if they decide to move to Portugal. And it's been super, super successful. And we get lots of people that write in constantly on email and in comments, on Instagram and Facebook. And there's a lot of questions that people ask. And so we wanted to cover a couple of those questions in this week's episode.
Yeah, it was interesting. I got on Facebook the other day, a pop-up said, 6 years, well actually it was yesterday, like 6 years ago you shut the front door to your house in England, and I actually went back and watched our old YouTube clips of us moving, and like it was,
So was that season 1? It's probably season 1 of Portugal Farm Life, or do you think that was before, like when I first started vlogging?
I think it was before season 1, because I watched the journey from England to here in the camper van with dog and the cats, and
back then I was just using a very basic mobile phone to basically vlog it. It kind of shows you how you don't really have to have fancy gear to vlog. You just have to have something interesting going on that people can relate to.
But it's so nice to be able to look back on our journeys and where we were then to where we are now, and all those unknowns at the time that were, we were stepping into that unknown out of our comfort zone. It
was super scary. And that's the thing is, I think our journey has inspired a lot of people, especially my property videos, when I start to show people what you can buy for the money in Portugal. And lots of people are looking at moving here. I'm sure you guys at home, probably some of you watching, are interested in asking a couple of questions or finding out answers to a couple of questions. The main question we get asked is, why did we decide to move to Portugal? And I think it's kind of a strange one, because it wasn't that I decided that I wanted to move somewhere, it's that I decided that I didn't want to be stuck somewhere else. So I really didn't want to be in the UK. I wanted to be away from bad weather, first of all.
Yeah, that was my only thing, was I just wanted to go somewhere warm and sunny.
Yeah, and so when I was talking about this, and I was like, look, I don't want to go back. Let's just pick a country, and it was like Italy, France, Germany, Spain. The funny thing was that Portugal actually never popped up.
No.
It never really popped up at that point, and only when we started looking on the phone and we started looking at properties and property prices did we suddenly look at Portugal and go, do you know what? This looks like a really viable option.
It's affordable, yeah.
Yeah. Having said that, prices have shot up. In the last 5 years, I think everything's doubled in price at least, so it's maybe not so affordable anymore, and there might be some better options. The next question is, what are the biggest challenges you guys face living in Portugal?
The language for me. I find the language incredibly difficult. I've done classes, I've done one-to-one lessons, we've done classes together, I've used the apps, I've used everything, but I find language difficult. And I think the fact that we're on the farm and we don't have like 24 hours a day, 7 days a week contact with locals, is that we're not practicing enough to get the kind of to get it. I mean, we both know lots and lots of words, we're just not very good at putting them together in sentences.
It's joining the words together with the different verbs, and the fact that the verbs all have about 100 different conjugations. That's the difficult part. And I think if we were working sort of 9-to-5 jobs and we were in an office and there were, everyone was just speaking Portuguese, after a couple of weeks or a month or whatever, you'll start to pick up all the phrases, and before you know it, it'll start to make sense. But when you live like us in the middle of nowhere and it's all nice and quiet and peaceful, and you're kind of living in a bit of a bubble, and all of the friends that are speaking English to you, and your Portuguese friends are practicing their English with you, it kind of
Yeah.
becomes quite
I
difficult.
mean, we can do like a whole week without seeing people outside of ourselves,
Yeah.
really. So and that's our choice. That's not, you
Yeah.
know, so it's about the practice, I think. But I think I would still find the language difficult. I find the pronunciation
Yeah.
massively difficult. I can understand quite a lot of what's being said, but being able to,
I don't think we're ever going to get the pronunciation perfect.
'cause
And I
we're
don't think it's
English.
possible. Because, even Portuguese friends of mine who have perfect English, they still have a Portuguese accent. And so they're not saying English words properly. They're saying English words with a Portuguese accent. In the same way as I say Portuguese words with a South African accent. So I don't think it's actually possible for me to ever have perfect pronunciation.
yeah. But we try. And
Yeah.
do you know what? I think the main important thing is we're able to talk to our neighbours.
Exactly.
So brokenly, but we're able to have a conversation and fit in with the community.
Exactly. We are able to communicate, and we do practice. I mean, I go into the village and I practice with Christina at the mini mercado. She only speaks Portuguese, doesn't speak English. I'm teaching her a few words in English, and sometimes when I'm there, she teaches me a couple of words in Portuguese, and we kind of,
And as you can tell,
Yeah.
Ken finds it easier because he likes to talk.
yeah, too much.
Yeah.
The next question is, has Portugal changed in the last 6 years since you've lived here? And I would say most definitely. I mean, when we arrived, it was COVID, right?
Well, just before, like a month before COVID.
Yeah, so we arrived and then there was like 2 years of COVID lockdowns, which kind of set the tone for us. And then after that, all of a sudden we're sort of back in regular life. When we arrived, we were sort of one of 3 YouTube channels, 3 English YouTube channels. We were the only ones really doing sort of farm life, living on a farm in Portugal. And obviously that became quite popular. Now there's hundreds of channels. There is a lot of migration that's happened in the last 6 years, like mass migration. A lot of it illegal migration, a lot of it refugees, and that's definitely had a big impact on Portugal and the way that Portugal looks and feels now. There's some parts of Lisbon which you wouldn't even recognize if you go there now and you see the level of migration that's happened. So it has become a big topic. It's a big topic in the media. It's a big topic in the media everywhere, in America, everywhere. Everyone's going on about immigration. And unfortunately, it has changed Portugal in some good ways and also in a lot of really bad ways.
I think it's had an impact on sorting out residencies and things like that because of the amount of work that is AIMA do.
Yeah, so the immigration service, they are absolutely like flat out with like applications and visas and things like that. And unfortunately now what should normally take a couple of weeks to get a visa or something is taking up to 2 years. So it has changed Portugal.
Yeah, so I think if you're immigrating in those official channels, it's taking longer than it was before. And I think the
A lot
other thing
longer.
that's changed, particularly from you doing property videos, is the prices of property has just gone skyrocket. I'm sure that's the same all over the world, but that's what we've noticed here.
Globally, I mean, Cape Town, where I'm from, prices have gone completely insane. London prices are insane. New York prices are insane. Lisbon prices are insane. So, it's a global phenomenon, I think. The next question is, what do you guys do for fun or as creative outlets when you're not working on the farm or filming property tours? So I think my creative outlet is drinking beer and having a braai.
Yeah, but you also really enjoy like making music and doing those kind of, so you've got those outlets.
Yeah, I mean, I guess my job is my creative outlet. So making video tours and making vlogs and traveling around and, doing stuff creatively with
So I think you found a job that you can explore the stuff that you really enjoy. For me, I taught myself to draw. Well, I knew how to crochet and I've learned how to knit, and I've also learned how to draw. I've taught myself those things and I find that a really relaxing part-time.
I mean, she couldn't even draw a stick man 3 years ago. Like, honestly, like she did not know how to draw at all. And she has been watching tons of tutorials on YouTube. Like in the last 3 years, after she's been working or whatever, she will sit like outside underneath the tree and she'll draw and she'll paint, and you've been teaching yourself lots of new skills and lots of new things. It's been really impressive.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying like pen drawing and watercolours. They're my kind of favourite at the moment. But there's so much beautiful stuff to draw and paint out here.
It's me. Yeah.
I don't know if it's where I haven't drawn Ken.
Yeah,
He can go back to my stick
Yeah,
man.
I'm gonna unrobe and I'm gonna stand. Yeah.
Draw me like one of your
Yeah.
Portuguese men.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so for me, it's a nice relaxing thing after a long day's work.
Yeah. So the next question is, what do you enjoy most about your YouTube channel? It's kind of a weird question. I mean, I guess I enjoy the fact that I've managed to document our lives for the last, since the beginning of this midlife crisis phase.
Like I said earlier, I went back and watched our very first videos where we were moving, and it was so nice to go back. And actually, there was lots of things I'd forgotten that we did, like with the donkeys when we had to drive up
in the mountain. And we nearly had a divorce.
Yeah, there was Bob with no power steering up
Bob
this
the camper van.
single track lane that was up a massive hill, and then got to this donkey sanctuary that we stayed in with Dog, who was just chilling out with the donkeys.
You guys can actually watch all of this. We've got different seasons of Portugal farm life, and I'll put a link up on the screen. But basically, if you go to season 1, I think you're going to find this.
I think it's before season 1. I think
it might be,
before. I think season 1 starts on the farm, but our journey here
started before.
So
then,
that's the bit I enjoy. I think is looking back on stuff that we've done in case we've forgotten things.
I mean, journaling it is probably the best part, but one of the perks, I guess, of having a YouTube channel is that different brands contact us all the time. So we get emails all the time asking to send us different products and things, and we're quite lucky because we've managed to get some amazing stuff like e-bikes and things like that.
I think we get offered lots of stuff, but we only take stuff that actually is useful or relevant for us.
Exactly. It's got to be, I'm not going to do Squarespace or, one of those types of things, like a VPN or something. But
actually, a VPN would be really useful.
True, yeah. Well, at the moment, we are paying for VPNs. Yeah, actually, Squarespace, hit us up.
That's not Squarespace.
What is it? Surfshark, Squarespace, whatever. But actually, there's another cool thing. It's usually these things, because I answer all the emails and I make the videos. Most of these things are for me. And quite recently, we've had some cool things that have been given
something
to Gina.
that for my creativity.
Yeah, so, I think we're going to segue into that quickly.
Let's go.
Step 1, cup of tea.
Tink. It's very hot.
Can you cheers a cup of tea? I'm not sure.
Yeah, of course.
Is there like a thing wrong with that?
No.
Okay. So Gina's new toy is called the Creality Falcon A1 Pro. Look at this thing. It's pretty awesome. This is a 20 watt laser engraver, laser cutter. We've actually been given this one with something called a rotary kit. So this tool over here is for cylindrical objects. So instead of just engraving like what we did before, where I don't know if you've seen our previous video, we had another video where we had this one, the Creality Falcon A1. And Gina made some cool things. Look at these. Some like little boxes and little OKportugal tags. We've now got this rotary kit. So it's called a rotary kit. It comes with safety glasses. It comes with little risers, which are these things here, so that you can lift it off the ground. Now this laser engraver is a lot of fun. You can do some really cool stuff with it, but it isn't a toy. And when using it, you should always take safety precautions. I'm wearing these special safety glasses here, and they basically block the laser's light, or the harmful radiation from the laser that can basically make you go blind. If you don't have the correct protection on, this thing can make you blind. So just a word of warning. So this is the original machine that we got from Creality, and this is a 10 watt machine. So it's got 10 watt laser. This one has been upgraded. So this is now a 20 watt blue laser diode, and it's super powerful. We've also been given this over here, which is a 2 watt infrared laser. Now this one's more suited for doing things like glass and metal, whereas this one over here is more suited for, sort of cutting wood and stuff like that. Now, as I mentioned before, these glasses are specifically to filter out this wavelength on this laser here so that it doesn't damage my eyesight. Unfortunately, this one over here is the wrong wavelength for these glasses. So today we aren't going to be able to test out this infrared laser. And that's going to make our job a little bit difficult because we're going to be using a 20 watt laser, a blue laser, to cut or etch onto glass. And it's not really the right laser for it. But I think we're still going to get good results. I have a workaround. The reason why it's the wrong type of laser, the long type of razor, is because the blue laser will go straight through the glass and it won't actually bite into it or etch it. So we've come up with a solution. We are using a solution on the glass, acrylic paint. They do actually sell something called marking fluid, and that basically tints the glass so that when the laser hits it, it basically bites into it. So I think this is going to work. We did a test run on another glass. I'm not sure exactly where that is, but it looked like it got a good result. I've got this logo on here, which I want to use. It's actually a saying that my dad said when we were in Lisbon. Cheers. What's going on here? I can't believe it.
This brings beers to my eyes.
It brings beers, yeah.
You ready to go? Got your glasses on?
Yep.
Right, I'm pressing start.
Exciting. So look at that. We can already see that laser is itching its way. Now something like this is a professional bit of kit. And I'm not sure if Jean is professional enough for this professional kit.
But I was saying to a friend of mine when I was talking about it that I think once you've set this all up and you're ready to go, you could produce, like, if you wanted to have little things at a market or something like that.
Like mass produce things?
Yeah, like you could just keep, and that's the easy part of it. It's the original setting up that just takes a bit of time and effort to get it right.
But once you save it as a project, you can load it up anytime, pop whatever you need in there to engrave on and set it off. So if you want to find more info about this, go to Creality's website. I'm going to put a link in the video description. And they've given us a special discount code, which is OKportugal. If you type OKportugal in, you get 10% off. Look at that, the job is completed.
Yay! Let's get it out of the machine.
Yeah, Gina, you're a little bit delayed there.
Yeah.
Right, so let's see what's happened here. Can you move that laser out the way and this bar out the way? Perfect, look at that. So you can do that to any glass or any bottle or anything like that. And you can do it on metal as well. Wood, metal, ceramic apparently,
so
tile,
many things,
slate. So what are you using? Nail varnish remover?
Nail varnish remover. I'm sure there's better stuff.
Yeah. And well, again, you can use something called marker fluid that you can buy. I saw it on Amazon. It was about 20 euros or something, or 25 euros. So we thought that we would just use some really cheap acrylic paint. And look, it's worked really well, huh?
It's done the job.
So that worked out pretty good, hey? Look at that. I mean, by the time I got the cameras on and the mics on and everything, the head of the beer's gone, so that's not very impressive. But I'm quite happy with that, hey? I think if we had done another pass with the laser, we would have gotten even more of a...
But that's what I was saying earlier. I think once you've got it set up and you've done lots of practice runs, you'll get it perfect, and then it's dead simple just to produce more. So Ken can have a whole collection of glasses with different sayings on.
Exactly. Stupid Ken sayings. Yeah. So I'm quite impressed with that.
Just like to say a big thanks to Creality for sending us the laser printer. I'm sure I'm going to have lots of new ideas. Keep an eye on my Instagram if you want to see what I've been producing and making. But let's get on with it. Ken, what's the next question?
It is, what would you miss most about the UK? What would you? I think the user's trying to say, what do you miss most about the UK?
PG tips, polos, Bovril, I think. Yeah. And obviously friends, family, you know, and a bit of FOMO, like just fear of missing out in general, like my family growing older and nieces and nephews and grand nieces and my brother and mum and dad and all the normal, but just things is...
Do you know what I miss most? The wonderful politics. No, I'm kidding. Not even going to go there.
I think that's the same in every country.
Yeah. No, it is true. Every single country has their own dramas going on with politics.
What do you miss about South Africa?
About South Africa? Geez, I've been gone since 2003, so I don't really even know anymore.
Yeah. Do you miss anything about England then?
They had a better beer selection. I'm not saying a better beer selection, as in there was more of a selection of beers, whereas in Portugal you have two beers. You have Superboc and you have Sagres. Whereas in the UK there were tons of different ales and lagers and all sorts of things. So I do kind of miss that, you know.
You said you miss the sense of humour as well sometimes.
Yes.
You miss the comedy shows from England.
Yeah. I mean, you know, England's got amazing comedy. Obviously not being able to speak the language in Portugal that well, it's difficult for us to know whether or not Portugal has the same level of comedy. I'm sure it probably does, but
England does sarcasm really well.
Yeah.
I do like a bit of sarcasm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the next question is, what surprised you the most about life in Portugal compared to what you expected before?
The weather.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. Like, I thought it was going to be mild in the winter, and like in the summer it was... I mean, the summer I think is how I expected it, but the winter months, like that is super cold and damp and dingy, you know, so I didn't expect that. I'm sure if we were further down south in Portugal it'd be different, but here in central Portugal, it's cold and wet.
And if you are, if you're lucky enough to have a new build, a new insulated build house, and you've got, a heat pump system, underfloor heating or something like that, you're going to be very comfortable. But if you are in like an old stone ruin or something like that, you are going to suffer in the winter. There's a couple of things that are going to help you there, like electric blankets. So it's an electric warming blanket. It's not actually, it goes under your sheet.
Yeah.
And it's heated. It's like a heated pad.
But you can also get ones that go on the top as well. You can be like electrified you're like a toasty.
Yeah.
You're getting cooked from underneath and on top.
Well, I mean, before we had aircon, we obviously had a very cold farmhouse. And to get into bed and you've got one of those warm blanket sheet things, it was so incredible at night time. Like, I'd actually look forward to it. I would switch it on like 20 minutes before I got into the bed. And then when you climb in, you're proper toasty.
I think the first winter we were here, the beds were damp for the whole of winter.
I know, the house was damp. We didn't have
but getting into a cold, damp bed that you just couldn't warm up.
And your feet were cold the whole night. You would actually have cold feet when you went to bed and wake up with cold feet.
Yeah.
It's the worst.
Yeah. So, I mean, we make it better every year that we're here.
Yeah.
Like with the...
No, we are comfortable now.
Yeah.
I mean, the house is proper comfortable now.
I mean, we still suffer a little bit with black mould in the winter. That's another thing that I didn't expect to be so bad, but that's just, we're getting on top of it. But yeah, that's the thing that is what I didn't expect was that cold winter.
No, definitely not.
And the language to be so difficult. I thought, it'll be all right, we'll pick it up because we're in the community, but that's not quite how it works because we're not in the community enough.
Our brains are not what we thought they were. It's kind of weird because I'm sitting here right now and I don't think there's any difference between how I was when I was younger, but actually there's definitely some differences.
You definitely slow down after 50.
Apparently I've got 1 or 2 grey hairs on my head as well. I've just been told that someone said that I've got a grey hair somewhere. I'm not sure. It's like
got lots. I've
somewhere.
Got lots too. I've got lots too.
Yeah. How did you find your farm and what made you decide that this was the right one?
Well, it took a lot of hard work to find it. It was kind of a full-time job for like a month or 2 months of searching.
We'd wake up every single day, hit all of the websites, and we were starting to get worried. It probably took about a month or 2, and we were starting to get worried because...
Well, there was no more listings left.
Yeah, once you've seen all of the listings. And we had this it was like a non-negotiable list where we were saying we want a river, and I wanted a huge, vast piece of land where you couldn't see any of the neighbours. No, Mima. A huge, vast piece of land so you can have doggies barking. And what was the other thing? It was,
I think it was running water.
Yeah.
It was running water. It was you didn't want to see anybody around you, and it was good access. I think we were, because we had Bob and the car at the time, so it was having good access. And somewhere that was ready to live in, that wasn't a ruin, because we don't have very good DIY. We don't have any DIY skills.
I'm not a DIY, I can't build a house. So, and then we went to this real estate agency. We were going every single day. They were showing us all these different listings, and they were like either complete ruins or there was nothing there.
Or they show you stuff that's so far out of your price range, even though you go, this is what we can afford. And
this is our price range. Oh, well, why didn't you say so? And then they show you something 5 times the price with swimming pools and, mansions. Yeah. So it was kind of getting frustrating. And then the estate agent just put this listing in front of us and said, look...
well, we went to the estate agent with 3 that we wanted to visit, and he said, why don't you visit this one? It's kind of in the similar area. And we were like, all right, then we'll visit that one, which was this one. Yeah,
and I think what had happened was someone wanted to buy it, and they didn't... this is the story that we were told, that they didn't sign a promissory contract. And because they hadn't signed a promissory, the sale hadn't gone through yet, so they hadn't paid a deposit or anything. They had already negotiated the price down, so the original price was much higher than what we actually paid.
Yeah, a lot higher.
Someone had negotiated it down really, really low, and big thanks to them. And we came and saw it, and I was convinced as soon as I saw this place.
And the sellers wanted a quick sale, didn't
I was completely convinced. Gina was like, no, this doesn't have the stuff that we wanted. And I just said, look, Gina, at this price, we'd be silly not to. Worst case scenario, we can just sell it on again. And it became our dream farm, our dream property. And and we've had 6 years here. 6 years.
Yeah, it's been an amazing. I was worried because it was just long piece of land
Yeah.
with kind of no secret bits. We were looking at lands that had like woodlands.
It would have been so much to maintain.
Yeah,
huh?
and different areas, and we actually know better now that actually trying to move into woodlands there's a risk associated with that.
Sure, definitely.
And with river frontage properties, that like in Portugal, it's a law that you get. Like anyone can access, is
Yeah.
it 5 meters?
It's quite a few meters inland where the public is allowed to actually access that river, where
Yeah.
those rivers actually belong, they don't belong to the property itself. So
Yeah. So the things we know now make sense of why it was kind of here. So yeah, that was it just kind of fell in our laps. To be
Yeah.
fair, we were just super lucky. We was in the right place at
I
the
did
right
kind of
time.
have to push you for it though.
Yes. Yeah,
I definitely had to
wasn't-
push you, and I was like, Gina,
Yeah.
we have to do this, we have to
Yeah,
do
I
this.
wasn't convinced,
Yeah.
but I'm so glad we're here now, obviously.
And the next question is, what is the Portuguese word or phrase that you use all the time?
Do you want to go first?
Well, I think it's going to be tudo bem. Tudo bem is kind of like if someone says like, bom dia, like good day, and you go, tudo bem, it's like a sort of like, it's like, how are you? And then they go, I'm fine. It's like, it's all good.
Yeah, mine is, and I still say it wrong, desculpa.
Yeah, desculpa, yeah.
Desculpa, which is sorry, because I'm English.
It's sorry.
And it means sorry, and I
Yeah.
say, like, English people say the sorry at the start of a sentence, the end of a sentence, like
Yeah.
every sentence, and sometimes com licença, which is like with, like, pardon me, excuse me, like
Yeah,
with
yeah, yeah.
license.
Yeah.
So they're my kind of, I'm just
Defaults.
constantly saying,
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
sorry, sorry.
And
sorry.
probably obrigado. Thank you.
Obrigada, yeah.
Yeah, that's like,
Ciao.
yeah, it's like the main sort of staples of our vocabulary.
When we went
really.
to Spain for a little, we just hopped over
Oh,
the border
yeah.
just for, and I kept speaking in Portuguese in Spain.
Gina kept
'cause
speaking to the waiters in Portuguese and going like, obrigado. And,
I was like, oh, I should just speak in English.
So the next question is, what is the scariest moment you've experienced since moving to Portugal?
That's dead simple. The fire that we just
Yeah.
had that went through the village that was super close.
Oof, yeah, if you haven't seen it, you should watch the video. It came out a couple of weeks ago. I'm going to put a link up on the screen to it. I think it's called Portugal is on fire or something, or We're on fire or something
Portugal
like
was
that.
on fire, I think. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think that took quite a while to like decompress from that.
Well, we didn't sleep for 5 days or something.
Yeah, but I think even just that every time you get a ping on your phone and you look at Fogosh and you're just like, oh, like, is it?
Yeah, so there's a fire app, and the fire app obviously sends you alerts and shows you on a map where all the fires are. But these don't really get updated
Not
very
on those
often.
big fires. They
And
get updated when they first start, but then
Yeah.
if they keep going on, they don't get.
Yeah, and Portugal basically every year is kind of fire season in the summertime, and you have these huge wildfires. And obviously, if you live in a forest or something, you're screwed. If a fire's there. But fortunately, our farm is quite well laid out. It's quite well protected, and there's a lot of fire breaks and things. But with this huge fire and the way that it came over the mountain and came through past our village and everything, we weren't sure if we were even going to be safe, even with all of this going on, So yeah, that was definitely the
I think
scariest
it was
moment.
the unknown for me. I think it's because you were just on tender hooks all the time, like,
Well, we couldn't sleep.
yeah.
And it wasn't so much, it's like our farmhouse is made out of concrete. There's nothing on our house to burn. It wasn't that we were worried about. It was more the smoke, that we were actually going to be asphyxiated,
Yeah.
because of all of the carbon monoxide and all of the smoke and everything. So
Yeah. And just the logistics of it, like getting us and the animals safe, like, yeah. That's by far the scariest thing. But I don't think that should put people off, because I think it just happens in any warm country. It's not a Portuguese thing.
it's a Mediterranean, Iberian Peninsula thing where we have this fire season. It's kind of similar in South Africa as well, where in Cape Town they have fires every single year in the same places.
Well, I think it's the same in like
it's-
America and Australia
California,
and New
yeah.
Zealand. Like, I think it's like if you live in a hot place, it's something that can happen.
But it's something to keep in mind when buying property in Portugal, when moving here. It's great to have a house that's in a forest or something, or even a log cabin. But the reality is that it's not such a good idea. It could be super dangerous. It could kill you. And sometimes having a property that's laid out a bit better and may not be as attractive without as many trees around, but it's got fire breaks is
Yeah.
is a
Just
better
do your
option.
homework. That's
Yeah.
yeah.
And the next one is, do you ever get homesick? And if so, how do you deal with it?
Drink tea.
Drink beer. Drink beer.
Do you know what? To be fair, I don't often get homesick. I miss people, and like I say, a bit of FOMO, missing out on like family birthdays and people growing older, and but I don't actually get homesick. And because it's quite easy to get back to England, I go back and I get like a couple of days worth, and I'm like, right, back to Portugal.
I mean, from here to the UK, basically there's a train that runs, and it's like, what, 2 hours on the train?
What, to England?
No.
To Lisbon?
To the airport.
Oh, yeah. It's dead simple to get
so it's
back
like 2 hours
yeah.
to the airport by train, and then the flights are, what, 3 hours?
Yeah.
But it's an international flight, so you have to be at the airport a little bit before.
Or if you really wanted to, you can drive it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to drive because I'd be driving it on my own. And
you could drive it. You could even drive and go on a ferry. So there's quite a few options. I mean, for Gina, it's easy. For me to get back to South Africa is like, it's quite a pain.
But you're used to, you lived in England for a long time before you were.
But I could get direct flights from England, and they were only 12 hours. Now I've got to have like a 10-hour plus a 5-hour stopover plus another 3 hour.
You don't get homesick though, do you? Really?
I don't really get homesick because I've been gone from South Africa for so long. So it's not homesick, but obviously, I'm missing out on my family and stuff there. So
it's more just missing family and stuff than homesick.
Yeah. So the final question is, what advice would you give someone thinking of moving to Portugal today? And I think, it's 20 to 6. It's getting quite late. If I was you, I would wait until tomorrow morning. You don't want to start all your unpacking at this time of night.
Yeah. I think this is probably the question that we get asked the most about the advice. I think one is, people think they can come out to Portugal and not have any financial backing behind them. So I think you have to have like a passive income or work remotely, because unless you can speak fluent Portuguese, it's going to be very difficult to get a job out here. And then even if you do get a job, the wages are vastly different to what you'd get in like England or America or somewhere like that. So I think having an income, and actually you need that now for your visas and stuff.
Well, you have to be able to prove that you can support yourself. So if you can get yourself a passive income or an aggressive income, I mean, I'm not sure what an aggressive income is, but I mean, it sounds pretty good.
Yeah, well, I'm sure aggressive income is working for other people remotely. So it's, or working for yourself online, is going to be...
Yeah, and then I think another really important thing is, since I've been here for the last 6 years, I've obviously been doing lots of property tours. I'm not an estate agent, so I don't sell properties, and that's meant that I can be kind of impartial about the tours that I do. And I've met a lot of estate agents over the years, and some of them have been really good and excellent, and some of them have been really bad. And unfortunately, in Portugal, you're not allowed to actually say anything defamatory about anyone. They've got very strong anti-defamation laws, so I'm not allowed to publicly tell you who are bad and good.
Not publicly.
Yeah, well, exactly. So, but what I will say is that if you are going to buy property here, you should really protect yourself. And the only way to do that is by getting your own solicitor or property lawyer. A lot of the times these dodgy estate agents will try and talk you into using their lawyer, because at the end of the day, their lawyer is looking out for them. There are things that you're obviously not going to be aware of when buying property here that's super important, and your solicitor is going to be able to protect you from those things.
I think the common things is like lots of the people in the same family owning a piece of land, and then there's a bit of the land that you don't own, and
I mean, there's all sorts of things. So
and it's kind of,
and there's lots and lots of dodgy estate agents, because obviously property market has just exploded. There's so many properties for sale, and there's lots of estate agents all on the take, and they're all just lining their pockets.
Kind of an extra bit of advice on that is, we found out recently that every business has to have a complaints book. Even if they're an online business. So if you do have an issue with an estate agent or like a business, you can ask to write in their complaints book.
Yes, and then they've got a certain amount of time where they actually have to answer the complaint. So it is, in a way, you can't publicly say anything, but you can actually still get them. So if you have been screwed over, if someone has defrauded you, and it's a business, then you can do that.
Yeah, so there is some kind of recourse for you. Yeah. So I know we hear of people saying, oh, but there's nothing I can do. They sold me, they lied. And
I get a lot of emails from people that have been ripped off by different estate agents. Some of them, I can't go into details, but unfortunately I get these emails, and it's really quite sad to hear, because there's nothing I can do about it. But the one thing that I will say is that they need to go onto the complaints book, and they need to basically lodge like an official complaint. And if this happens quite frequently, then like the department that looks after this is
then
going to basically
have to investigate.
Yeah. And if they get found out to be dodgy traders or whatever, they're going to get their business is shut down. So
And
I think that's probably the best advice.
Yeah, and then last piece of advice is if you're moving from another country, that it's easy to do so is to bring a car with you, because cars in Portugal are super expensive.
Yeah, I mean, if you're moving from America, it's probably quite difficult to bring your car here.
Yeah.
But, and the make and model is probably not going to be compatible. But if you're from Europe, we brought our Golf from the UK, and basically, if we wanted to replace that Golf in Portugal, it would have cost us 18,000 euros. But I think the car only cost us about 10,000 euros or something.
10.
So, and when we sold it, well, if we sold it in the UK, I think we would have got about 6 or 7 or something for it. So it made sense for us to import the car instead of buying a new one.
Yeah, it works out much cheaper. So there's a few hoops you need to jump through, but it's nothing. You just have to own it for 6 months before you move out here, and then just do the paperwork. But it's an easy process. So
yeah, I think, well, for now, those are the questions that we've kind of pulled.
One other bit of advice.
Yeah.
If you want to move somewhere, give it a go.
True, yeah.
Just like little steps, take it easy, make the jump. Look at us. We had people going, you won't last a year, you'll be back soon, and we're here 6 years later and loving every minute of it. So
well, not every minute.
Not every minute.
Yeah.
I would still rather be here than the lifestyle that we had before. So
well, I must say, every time I open up Instagram, I'm seeing reels of the Western world just like
imploding.
The craziness that's going on in different countries that we've lived in before. I won't mention the names of those countries, and crazy things are happening over there. And it is much safer, and I don't know, it feels a lot more insulated here.
But look at us, we're nothing special, and we've done it.
Speak for yourself.
We weren't rich. We didn't have rich parents to fund it for us. We've done it, and so if it's something you want to do, give it a go.
You've only got one life. It's proper cheesy this, but you really do only have one life, and at the end of it, well, you've got a beginning and an end, and we're all reaching the end at some point, and you get to choose which path you're going to take. And so if you are sitting there and you're thinking, do you know what, I want to change, make it happen. And it might work, it might not work, but what's the worst that can happen? I mean, I think the worst that can happen is that you don't move and you're just miserable for the rest of your life, if you are miserable. So it's worth it. It's definitely worth it.
It's doable. It's
worth it, and it's doable.
Yeah.
And it's an adventure.
And on that note,
I keep interrupting Gina.
Well, that's normal.
Yeah.
So, but on that note, I think everyone's heard enough. Unless you've got, if you've got other questions, then put them in the comments below, and we'll maybe do another one or answer them in the comments or whatever. But hopefully that's helpful. Yeah. And 6 years. 6 years and going strong. Well, 21 or 22 years in a relationship and 6 years in Portugal. But long time. So.
Well, anyway, thanks for tuning in, and we hope that this has been useful. And
and if you stuck it out to the end, well done.
Yeah. And we're going to put on the screen a playlist here that you can watch our playlist. If you haven't seen any of our videos before, I'm going to put a playlist to our latest season of Portugal Farm Life.
Go back to the start, because
we're going to put the one from the start, so you can watch from the beginning.
The quality is different, and it's hilarious.
Yeah.
And very raw at times.
Exactly.
So that's kind of...
Exactly. But anyway, thanks for watching.
See ya.
Ciao.
Bye.